Alright, welcome back. This is episode 2 of my Opus Magnum Let's Play. Last time, we graduated from the Imperial University. We learned about the transmutation machine and all of its components, as well as a few things like bonding and transmutation glyphs. And we also went through and did a single sort of, I don't know, capstone if you will, to prove that we've learned everything. Pardon me there. So, the first thing I want to do before we head into the next chapter 1, is I want to go back to this last level that we've ended on. If you remember, I had tried to make it as fast as I could, and couldn't really figure out a way to get into that like lowest bar, which is what I was aiming for, and I ended up looking outside of the Let's Play. I ended up deciding the format that I wanted to do this in. So it allows you to save multiple creations, multiple solutions to a single level, and in this case I decided to save the original as original, obviously. This is what it looked like, to remind you. This one wasn't the fastest, it wasn't the most space effective, wasn't anything really. And then I decided to save alternate designs for speed, area, and cost. I say speed, although cycles I guess is what we're optimizing here. So, with each of these, I'm going to go and just showcase these, which I developed on my own time. And I'm pretty sure they're either the minimum that you can get or pretty close to it. Let's start with area, because it looks really nice. This one is the total area of where everything moves and what parts are placed. And in this case, it's you can't see it right now, but it will be 7 of these tiles, all the tiles that you see right here. So that includes the areas where the arm is, the areas where the glyphs are, the reagents, and the products. And it also includes like what areas the arm move across. It took me a bit to figure that out, but for instance, if this arm grabbed this and then just kind of did a spin like that, these 3 tiles right here would they would end up being included in the total. So it's not just about keeping the footprint of the design down, but also the footprint of like where the pieces are moving. So if we run this one and play, you see I only used a single reagent here. That's to help keep that down, and yeah, a lot of commands. It's not the fastest in the world, but it saves on space. As you can see, the area for this one is pretty low. It's at 7, and I don't think you can go below that. Next, let's look at cost. Cost is basically as few parts as you can. So you want to use as few mechanisms and the cheapest mechanisms you can, as few glyphs as you can, and as few products. So, or not products, reagents. Because if you use multiple reagents, well, it's not mutually exclusive, but it can get a little confusing. So in this case, I have a single arm that costs 20 gold. I have the glyph of calcification, which you need, and I have the glyph of bonding, which you also need. And that is it. That's all I have here. This is the cheapest arm. Those are the bare minimum of the stuff. And the way it works is it will drop that right there. Move that. So it works no matter what phase. It's kind of like a 2-cycle phase. In the first version, it'll bond and drop, and it works out pretty well. And again, it's really slow, but that's okay. It's the lowest you can get in cost. This one is speed, and I think I got the lowest for this one, but this one's going to look crazy. So, prepare yourself. So, let me describe what I've got going on here. The first thing that I realized was that you can, like, spawn something from a reagent every 2 turns, basically. And so you can always have a constant cycle of reagents being pushed out into here every 2 turns and forming this double bond. And at that point, I just needed some way to move these up to here and to here every 2 turns. And the way I did that was using these arms on these tracks. They rotate around, they grab, drop, and then head back around and keep doing that. And it's really fast. Prepare yourself. Yeah, it takes only 17 cycles, which is pretty low. I think that's the lowest you can get. And yeah, you can see it just goes at an insane rate. Very satisfying to find that, though, and it taught me some things about the game already. So, yeah. Those are the solutions to that one. Now, I don't know, I probably won't feature all the alternate solutions I come up with in the main Let's Play. I wanted to show these because I wanted to, like, kind of get to the point where, like, hey, these are actually things that I'm doing. What I might end up doing is just sharing the GIFs. You can export an animated image of your solution within the game, which makes it really handy to like share creations that you did. So I might like just compile a list of GIFs of the solutions that I come up with if you want to check them out. And I will, if there's any designs that I might like find really interesting or I'm really proud of or stuff, I might showcase those in like bonus episodes or stuff. But for now, let's head back to Chapter 1 and actually get started. Probably won't get through this whole chapter, and we might even get to see some time lapses today, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Letter of congratulation. Dear Anateus, congratulations on your appointment to the position of head alchemist to the House Van Tassen. I am very pleased to see you find a position in line with your talent and abilities. As you prepare to leave the academic life, I want to offer a word of advice. The politics of the city are much harsher and more dangerous than those of the academy. You are a singularly gifted talent, and I would hate to see you get caught up in those conflicts. The alchemist's place is not to sink to the level of those around us, but to rise above them in service of our art. Best of luck to you, Nadine Tolemio, Professor and Chair, College of Alchemical Engineering, Imperial University. Well, politics and intrigue, you say? Van Tassen's new alchemist. Alchemist Workshop, House Van Tassen. Anateus Vaya and Concordia Lem. So, how did it go? A nightmare. Our man kept going through his old stories about honor and righteousness. The Lady Van Tassen looks like she's embalmed. Frederick spilled blood or food down the front of his shirt. What a brave man you are, surviving a formal dinner. It really is difficult, though. I can't stand the stuffiness. Our man didn't remember my name. Captain Gelt had to prompt him several times. To be fair, he started only rather recently. Yes, I suppose it's too much to ask. Such a complicated, burdensome thing to remember one single name, the name of your new alchemist. Still salty. The one who graduated at the top of his class from the College of Alchemical Engineering. Anateus. See, you remember my name just fine. I think Armin would know my name. Keep in mind that I've been here my whole life. Maybe next time you can go in my place. He might not even realize it's a different person. Alchemist, provisioner. Which were you again? Yes. You'll get us in trouble. I've been doing this for years. Refined gold. Well, this is an odd first project. I feel like someone's having a laugh at my expense. Why, were you asked to create the Philosopher's Stone? Close, actually. One more guess. Transform lead into gold? Yes, apparently those are an old Van Tassen lead mine, and wouldn't it be better if it produced gold instead? Armin suggested it so casually. Sounds wonderful. Time to put your university degree to the test. Alright, so, right off the bat, we are taking that old alchemical myth of turning lead into gold. That's a thing we can do with alchemical engineering. It's something that the fabled Philosopher's Stone was said to be able to do. Turn any metal into gold, that sort of thing. But we're going to create a machine that does it. And we're going to use, let's put this as original. And we're going to use a new glyph, the glyph of projection. Glyph of projection consumes an atom of quicksilver and promotes an atom of metal to its next higher form. By doing this repeatedly, even lead, the basest metal, can be transformed into the finest gold. If you want to know, I noticed this during one of my other things. There's a diagram of alchemical reference, and it's a really pretty diagram, and I want to show it off. Here you have the four elementals: salt, the base of all matter; vitae and mors, I assume for life and death. And here we have the elements, the metals, and quicksilver, which is used primarily to promote metals from one level to the next. So you start with lead, and then you have tin, iron, copper, silver, and gold. You start with lead in this case, and we use one quicksilver and it turns into tin, and then we use another quicksilver, it turns into iron, and so on and so forth until we reach gold. And that's what we're doing. We have we're simply making a machine that will turn lead into gold. No biggie. So we have reagents, we've got a product, and we're gonna want to do things. So we have a glyph of projection. This glyph right here will take in one of these and plop down one of those. Let's see if I can get it to work a little fast. So for this one, I want it to grab, rotate, and then drop and go back. And the reason why I'm not using the reset function is just so that it lines up better with this one. For this one, I want it to drop because that's the position it's starting on, rotate back, grab, and rotate forward. So what this will do is it will grab one from the reagent every 2 turns. So then over here, I want to do something kind of similar right here, where we could just grab it. It's not grab, rotate, and then press the drop, and then it's just gonna sit there for a while. And we're gonna want to do this sort of thing. Here, let's actually use the reset. Grab, rotate. We want to do this how many times again? Let's see, we're gonna need to spawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo, wowzer. Alright. So we're gonna want this to go twice, 3 times, and we want this to happen twice. What I can also do is I can just start like that. This actually might make it look a little bit neater. Make it a bit more organized. So that's 5 times. It'll grab, deposit, grab, deposit, grab, deposit, grab, deposit, grab, deposit. Right here, this should be good enough. So at that point, we want to take... We're going to use this arm. Grab, rotate, drop. That adds some turns to it. So I'm going to take this. Have a new one that will just grab right here, rotate right there, drop, and then return. And that should be enough right there. So let's see how this goes. Oh, look at that. Nice. And apparently that's the one of the, if not the lowest, the low cycles that you can do. That's good. I like that. Can you make lead into gold? I can scarcely believe it. Well, at least it's finished with now. Like asking a fish if it can swim. You're taking this remarkably poorly, Anateus. I was expecting a challenge, that's all. Sounds like you want a chance to show off. I'm not sure if I'd go that far. Lead into goal, how simple. Alright, so we've got a bunch of designs now. Face powder, waterproof sealant, hangover cure, airship fuel, precision machine oil. Let's tackle a couple of those. And in this case, we'll get to see how things go along. Let's see. Have you seen Lady Van Tassen lately? A few days ago. Why? Did you notice how pale her face is? Oh, she's well known for her pallor. Why? Did someone ask you to do something about it? Our man himself did. It seems it's gotten worse lately. People are whispering about her health. That's unfortunate. The lady hasn't had an easy time of things. I'd hate to see her slandered on top of it all. Alright. So, I want to make face powder, which is just air and salt bonded together, and we just have one reagent. Let's see here. Get glyph right here. Grab these one after the other. Maybe, actually, let me think about this for a second. Alright. That worked. And apparently it's speedy cycles. I like it. Right now I'm seeming to hit all the speed cycles as I can. That's not going to happen later on, trust me. But for now, it's looking good. I like it. This should help keep the lady's face look less pale, though it's quite a superficial solution. Who can really say what troubles the Lady Van Tassen? It's not for us to know. Have you ever heard her speak? She didn't say a word during the dinner I went to. I remember her speaking to me once or twice when I was a child. Odd. Just another of the many Van Tassen mysteries, I suppose. One gets used to them after a while. Alright. Waterproof sealant. Do you know much about ships, Concordia? Our merchant fleet delivers goods from overseas about once a month. Why? Captain Gelt told me they use some kind of substance they put on the holes so they don't rot. I don't know anything about it. Have you ever been on a ship? I haven't, no. You? Not at all. It sounds ghastly, being tossed around on the ocean and getting eaten by sea monsters. I'm not sure all sea voyages are like that. Enough of them are. Alright. I'll be heading into a new solution. I'll lay it out. I think I'm getting the... Oh, Glyph of Multi-Bonding. Glyph of Multi-Bonding can create up to 3 bonds at once. Nice. More economical. Alright, so this is that multi-bonding. 30 gold, look at that. And you can use it to create multiple bonds. Alright, so this is the product that we want to create. These are our 2 reagents. We're gonna have to make this with that. You can already kind of see a few ways to make this happen. I'll catch you on the other side of the time lapse. Okay, freeze. right here, I'm still trying to figure out the way to do this the fastest that I can, and I'm realizing that if I try to do that, what's going to happen is I'm going to end up making another machine that is really hard to follow if you don't understand my thought process behind it. So I'm going to focus on making this one just work, because I can already kind of see ways, I can already see how I want to sort of design this thing to get it to be really fast, but I realize that if I spend all my effort doing that, I'm going to create something god-awful, and it's going to be impossible to follow. So I'm going to be starting over right now. Alright, unfreeze. Alright, I think I've got it done. Let's watch it run. No, I don't. Let's try that again. There we go. Alright. Right, so that's pretty average in the terms of solutions. I could optimize a little bit more, but again, I think I'll spend that time optimizing on other outside the Let's Play. In this case, I got it done. It makes sense. It's easy to read. That's good. With this sealant ready, the fleet should be ready to set sail and bring back, well, whatever it brings. They're loaded with all kinds of things. Cloth, pottery, mineral ores, rare herbs, strange stones. Sometimes even animals. Sounds like good business. I'm not sure. Those contracts were drawn up centuries ago. I doubt even Armin knows the details. Alright. What are we looking at here? I think we can do one more. If I'd known I was to be tasked with curing a hangover. Oh, I bet I know who asked you for that. It was Captain Gilt, wasn't it? How'd you guess? It would be good for him to at least be somewhat functional in the mornings. Yes, seems prudent for the head of security for the entire house not to be totally incapacitated on a regular basis. Let's not go too far. Alright. Lining it up again. Let's go. For this one, we have a product and a single reagent. And once again, we're going to want to make a sort of three-prong or two-prong thing, 120-degree angle, and we're going to need a lot of calcification. So, I will see you on the other side. Okay, I think this might work. Idea is to bring out an reagent right here, calcify it, drop it right here, to do the same thing on this side, then to just rotate it, put the other one in place, and then drop it over. Let's see if that actually plays out like I think it should. Alright. It's looking good so far. Yeah. Success. Alright. Brilliant. There are days when I could use such a cure myself. Here, have some. What? This isn't for me, Nazis. If you get caught, it's fine. There's a secret. My amazing hangover cure is water. Just plain water. Captain Gelt has no idea, but apparently he loves it. Works wonders, he says. That's rather funny. Also, I'll never trust an alchemist again. You shouldn't. That's a good point this time, man. Alright, we've got airship fuel and precision machine oil left, but for now, I think that's a good position to sign this one out. Recording time's long, but of course I'm going to have to compress some of those time lapses down, so it should end up being around the same length as before. I think overall I want to keep these episodes somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. I think that's a good point. Allows me to play enough, but not so much that the recording becomes crazy. So yeah, next time we come back we'll be finishing up these free-for-all levels, and I assume getting a bit more story and perhaps some intrigue, some of that political backstabbing. What's up with House Van Tassen? We'll see. We will see. Alright, I will catch you guys next episode, hopefully. Kailoto, out.